Vietnam, 1968. A North Vietnamese platoon is crossing the Ba Ren River under the cover of a moonless night. They think they are invisible. But 200 yards away, lying in the rotting vegetation, is a man who hasn't blinked in 3 minutes. He doesn't have a thermal scope. He doesn't have a drone. He has a bolt-action rifle and a terrifying level of patience. In the next 30 seconds, he will fire 16 rounds. 16 targets will fall. His name is Chuck Mawhinney. For 2 decades after the war, the world, and even his own wife, had no idea that he was the deadliest sniper in U.S. Marine Corps history. Chuck wasn't born a killing machine. He was a nobody from Lakeview, Oregon, a skinny kid who preferred the company of his dog and a .22 rifle to people. His father was a World War II vet who taught him that a rifle wasn't a toy, it was a surgical tool. When the draft came calling in 1967, Chuck didn't run. He joined the Marines. At the firing range, his instructors were confused. His form was wrong, his stance was ugly. But when the dust settled on the targets, every single bullet was in the dead center. They realized they didn't need to teach Chuck how to shoot. They needed to teach him how to disappear. In the jungle, Chuck learned that your rifle is only 10% of the job. The other 90% is the art of suffering. He would crawl through human waste and thorn bushes for 12 hours just to move 50 yards. He learned the hacks of the silent killers. Scent masking. He stopped using soap or deodorant. He wanted to smell like the mud he laid in. The heartbeat trigger. He trained himself to pull the trigger between heartbeats to eliminate the microscopic muzzle twitch. The muzzle sock. He wrapped his barrel in damp burlap to kill the muzzle flash that would give away his position in the dark. He wasn't just a soldier anymore. He was a predator. During his 16 months in Vietnam, Chuck's scorecard grew at a staggering rate. His official count was 103 confirmed kills, with another 216 probables. To put that in perspective, he was more lethal than legendary snipers like Carlos Hathcock, yet he stayed completely under the radar. His most famous engagement was that night at the river. Armed with a Starlight night vision scope, a primitive 4-pound beast, he held off an entire enemy platoon single-handedly. He fired until his barrel was hot enough to burn his skin. But Chuck never celebrated. He described it as hunting. And when the hunt was over, something in him changed. In 1969, Chuck Mawhinney walked off a plane, dropped his gear, and vanished. He didn't write a book. He didn't go on the news. He didn't even tell his hunting buddies. He moved back to Oregon and took a job with the U.S. Forest Service. He became a quiet neighbor, a guy who worked on his truck and went fishing on weekends. For 22 years, his record sat in a dusty box in the Marine Corps archives. Why the silence? Because Chuck knew that in 1970s, America, snipers weren't seen as heroes. They were seen as monsters. So, he buried the ghost of Vietnam deep inside. The secret came out by accident in 1991. A fellow sniper wrote a book and mentioned a nobody named Mawhinney, who had more kills than anyone. Journalists tracked him down. When they knocked on his door, they didn't find a Rambo. They found a humble forest worker. When they asked him why he never spoke, his answer was chillingly simple. I did what I was trained to do. I don't look for glory. The real heroes are the ones who didn't get to come home and work for the Forest Service. Chuck Mawhinney passed away recently in 2024, but his legacy remains. He proved that the most dangerous man isn't the one making the most noise. It's the one you never see coming, and the one who never feels the need to brag.